Hi, good day. I would just like to share with you how God has used this downtime to do something good. He's taken a potentially challenging situation and turned it around to produce a positive outcome, and I believe God can do the same for you too. At the start of lockdown, when I was sent home, it was only a matter of a few weeks and I started to feel nervous. I started to feel uneasy inside, and I was starting to lose my peace, my happiness, and I had many worries and concerns. And maybe it was the same for you too. And I started to think, I should be able to have peace, happiness and joy in my heart despite my situation. But the reality was, my happiness was dependent on my routine. It was dependent on what was happening, and there wasn't much happening. So I didn't have much happiness. My financial security was dependent on my job. It was dependent on my salary, on my position, and those things were all up in the air. I was depending on things that were essentially out of my control, my routine, those things I just mentioned, my job, my salary, and in essence, my peace, my joy and my happiness were out of my control. But I heard Mike Shutter say in one of his Sunday messages where he said, trust in the provider of the thing rather than in the thing. And it was then highlighted to me that that's what I was doing. And that's why I had lost my peace. That's why I had lost my joy, because I was trusting in those things which had let me down. And in that moment, I had a heartfelt moment where I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God as the provider of those things. And from that point on, I had peace throughout this time. In Romans 8:28 it says, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. And that's just what God did for me. Had things not been down and had I not been challenged, these things would have not been highlighted to me, and I would still have been trusting in those things rather than in God. God used a trying situation and pulled something positive out of it. It's made me stronger and I believe more mature. I look back and I don't have any regrets about these last couple of months because it's had a positive outcome for me despite the challenges. And it can be the same for you too. Your challenging situation can be turned around and used by God to produce a positive outcome. And we have many challenging situations in our day-to-day lives. So I hope that upon hearing this, you can be encouraged today that God can take your situation and turn it around to produce a good outcome. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us today. Search for us online and get information about upcoming events and more great teaching.